welcome back. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Tracy, and this is Tracy's Open Book. So today I wanted to go over my November wrap up, and I read 9 books for the month, and 4 of those were Audible. And so I'll just basically go through my Audible reads first, and I'm going to start with One of Us is Dead by Geneva Rose. This book was okay. It was okay. I gave it a 2.5, I believe. Just because I was looking for a thriller. This was listed as a thriller, and basically I got a bunch of drama between a bunch of snooty rich women, and it was a lot of back and forth, who's gonna be the queen of Buckhead and different things like that. And you really didn't even get the thrill part until the very end of the book. So it was okay. I know Geneva Rose is a really good author. The reading was easy. However, it was okay for me. I'm definitely did definitely try another one of her reads, which I'll mention here shortly. But 2.5 for One of Us is Dead. The next book that I picked up or listened to actually on Audible was One Big Happy Family by Susan Mallory. That book was full of drama too. It's a family dysfunction, drama, all the things. This lady decided to, it appears that she was used to getting her family together for Christmas every year. Her children are gone. She's a middle-aged woman. She decides to get this boyfriend who is, there's a big age gap. Let me put it that way. And so, you look at the narrative and go through the story where so many weird things are happening. But it was an okay read. I gave it a 3-star, just because it kept me pretty entertained. But like I said, it was just a bunch of drama. I was looking for a more Christmassy type story, and I just didn't get that Christmas feeling. But anyway, it was a good book. The next book that I read on Audible was The Perfect Marriage, and this was a thriller by Geneva Rose. Now, your girl came through on this one. Oh, it was so good. You have this attorney, high-class attorney. She's married to a guy who is trying to be a big-time book author, but unfortunately, he is failing at that. And in the process, as you go through the story, she is, of course, spending lots and lots of time as a lawyer trying to, keep on climbing the ladder. And what that means for him is he doesn't hardly get to see her. So brother man finds something to do in his spare time. He gets this mistress, and without saying too much, she ends up being murdered. Okay, so then you go through the story, and at the end, you find out some crazy things. I mean, it was twisting and turning and turning and twisting. But I gave this a 4-star. Geneva Rose is all right with me. The next Audible book that I read was The Co-Worker by your girl, Frida McFadden. Frida McFadden coming through. Do you hear me? I gave that book a 4-star as well. Oh, we're talking about the female main characters in this book being Dawn Schiff and Natalie. Dawn Schiff, oh my gosh. I can't even begin to describe this lady. If you think of a woman with no friends, it appears, and the little homely kind of looking accountant that she is, it appeared to me in the story that she was just infatuated with beautiful Natalie and wanted to be Natalie and all of these things. And unfortunately, something happens to Dawn Schiff. She goes missing, and nobody can really understand why, because, she's Dawn Schiff. Like, who would want to bother Dawn Schiff? And the story goes on, and I'm telling you, this was another twisty one. This was another tripped out thriller. I love the book. I look forward to reading more Rita McFadden. My next 4 books are 5 books actually. I'm going to do the same way. I'm basically going to start with my lowest rated book and go on down. Friends, I actually had a 5-star this month. But let me start with Christina Lauren, In a Holidays. In a Holidays. Once again, I wanted something Christmassy. I had to get the Christmas in. And this book was pretty good. You're looking at a story about a young woman who, her and her family, traditionally would go to a cabin with 2 other families, and both families had children, I believe, and they do their traditional Christmas things, and people were insinuating at one point she had a love interest with one of the brothers. It's 2 brothers. One of them, they assumed that she was kicking it with him, but as you navigate through the story, you find out that she is possibly actually in love with the other brother. Nothing really becomes of it. So they go home in this story. They're heading on the highway. They end up in a car accident. And then she hits this time loop where she had prayed and asked the universe to kind of like help her. Like she felt like she wasn't going anywhere in her life, and she just wanted to be better. And she had made the comment, next thing you know, she has this car accident. Then she ends up in this time loop. And in this time loop, she is trying over and over to find love. I'll just put it like that. Anywho, it was a great book. I believe I gave that a 3.5. Let me see. I think I gave that a 3.5. Yep, 3.5 for that book. It was really good. So the next book, The 22 Murders of Madison May by Max Berry. I was a little hesitant about reading this book just because it's a psychological thriller, but it's a little twisty, a little weird kind of thriller. And so I was hesitant about reading it, but I decided to jump on out there. This book was something else. It's a story about a killer that's like in this multi-universe type situation where he's jumping through different universe eras or whatever, and he's a killer. He's a serial killer, and he in every one of these different worlds is trying to kill the same woman at which it appears that he's in love with. And so you have this woman who is trying to stop him, basically. And once she figures out that this is what's happening, she tries to stop him, and somehow she gets the ability to also jump through this, universe and these universes. And it's a good story. It's a lot of twists and turns in that one as well. But it was a really good read. I probably will read some more from Max Berry as well. My next book is When No One Is Watching by Lisa Cole. She is a Black author. I love this book. I gave it a 4.5. This book is about gentrification and with a twist, okay? Gentrification with a twist. I mean, in this story, the young woman, the main character in this story, she's at her grandmother's house who has been living there for years, and she is trying to figure out why other people in that surrounding neighborhood are starting to sell their homes, they're missing, like they're not even saying goodbye. They just up and selling and missing. And she found it her duty to try to figure out what in the world is going on. It just didn't make sense. She becomes friends with someone else in the story, a male character. Some weird things happen there. And, eventually, they kind of try to figure out what's going on. But the story at the end, yeah, it left my whole mouth wide open. Okay, it was a good. Now this was a thriller. This was a thriller. I love Elisa Cole's writing, and I look forward to reading another book from her as well. My next book is By the Book by Jasmine Gilroy, and I'm telling you right now, anything with a book gonna get my attention. Any book about a book gonna get my attention. This was a cute romance. In this book, you find your main female character. She is a editor of a book author editor, and she is trying to move up in the company. And so she asked her boss. They had a author who they were pushing to try to get his manuscript done, and he was just taking his dear sweet time. They couldn't understand why, but she wanted to take the challenge of going to his house and trying to get him to finish his manuscript. And it is a romance, so you kind of can figure out what probably happened through this story. It's a really cute romance. I look forward to reading more of Jasmine Gilroy's books. Matter of fact, I think I have several of her other books already on my TBR card. So this was a really good read. I enjoyed it. And I think I gave this a 4.5. I gave that a 4.5 on Goodreads. My last book and my 5-star read for November was The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This book is a magical romance. I love this book. I mean, you can see I've been notating, got my little stickies all on it. This was a beautiful, magical love story. I mean, of course, some of it is magical, and why can't love be magical? But this was a story about a woman who she had a very close relationship with her grandmother in this apartment. Her grandmother would tell her all about it, how it's magical, and this, that, and the other. And so unfortunately, her grandmother passes, and she's down on some rough times, trying to get herself together, and she goes to stay in her grandmother's apartment. Well, what do you know? She walks in, and there is a guy sitting at the kitchen table from 7 years past. And he's 7 years in past, and she's 7 years in the future. And she's trying to figure out what he's doing there, and it's a romance. It's a romance. So you can figure it out from there, what is happening. But the cutest thing is all of the things that they go through. It kind of sent them through a time loop as well, and they go through this like Groundhog Day experience. They're just reliving, and you know what? There is a time that you can actually and will actually find the perfect one, and that's basically what this story is about. I really enjoyed reading this book, and once again, I look forward to reading more of Ashley Poston's books. So forward to reading so many more books by these authors. Hey, if you don't do anything else, continue to be who you are and keep shining. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.